Lift versus level. Action. What's up, guys? It's Marissa from Krietz Customs. Today we're talking lift versus level. What's the difference between a lift kit? What's the difference between a leveling kit? Can I tow with a lift kit? What's the difference between a 3-inch lift kit and a 3-inch leveling kit? And all in all, what is better for you to run? So make sure you stick around because you don't want to miss this video. The concept of leveling versus lifting is pretty self-explanatory, but it can be confusing at times since there are some leveling kits and lift kits that are the same size. A leveling kit lifts the front to match the rear height 9 times out of 10. It's usually just a 2 to 2.5 inch spacer that goes above the coil spring. Now, the factory rake usually allows the truck to sit a little bit higher in the rear for hauling purposes. When you're adding a bigger load on the back, it does sit level with the height of the truck in the front. Now, if you do add the 2.5 inch spacer to the coil spring, it does raise that front to match the rear. So if you are hauling, it is gonna pull that truck bed down just a little bit and your front end's gonna stick up. Now, when you get to those bigger heights in your leveling kits, like your 3.5 inch, they do suggest having a suspension system. So that way you're adding a little bit more height in the rear as well. So you're adding the 3.5 in the front, but also maybe an inch and a half to 2 inches in the rear, just to kind of still keep that factory rake, but also not allowing the suspension parts to become maxed out or anything like that. Suspension lift kits in general that are usually 4, 5, 6 inches or even higher are going to replace the factory parts that are on the truck currently. So it's going to replace the control arms, it's going to replace the tie rod ends, it's going to have the extension shocks and stuff like that. If you're going any higher than a 2.5 or 3 inch, you're gonna start maxing out your stock suspension parts. So that's when you wanna start replacing them, and that's where the lift kits come into play. It's gonna replace all your stock suspension parts. Now, when you have a 6-inch kit, it's gonna raise the front 6 inches, and then the rear is usually gonna lift it anywhere from 4 to 5 inches. Now, you can keep your factory rake and allow for a bigger block in the back if you do wanna haul and stuff like that with the bigger suspension lift kits. Now, for the front configuration, you have some different options. You can keep your factory struts and add a spacer, or you can upgrade them to lifted struts, or even upgrade them even more to coilovers. Now, with your more heavy duty trucks like a 250, 350, 2500, or 3500, we add the 2.5 to 3.5 inch leveling kit to the front end so it matches the back. Now, you can have the option to keep that factory rake and add the bigger blocks in the rear. Most of the time, your trucks come with a 2 to 3 inch block in the back, which they can replace to 4 to 5 inches to keep that factory rake. Now, as you can see, my 1500 to my left, your right, does have a 6-inch kit. Now, that one's gonna sit the same exact height as a leveled 2500, 3500, or an F250 or 350 because they already sit higher as it is. One of the more confusing questions we get from customers is whether they can do a 3-inch leveling kit or a 3-inch suspension leveling lift kit. Now, the difference pretty much is a leveling kit is just gonna raise that front, and the suspension leveling lift kit is gonna raise the front, but also raise the back to match the front. So, for example, if you have a truck that is 36 inches in the rear and 34 inches in the front, and you just add the leveling kit 3 inches, it's only gonna raise the front to 37 inches, and it's still gonna keep that rear 36 inches. Now, if you add the suspension leveling lift kit, then that's when you're gonna put the 3 inches in the front to 37 inches. You're gonna add that 1 inch in the rear to raise it up to the 37 inches, and that's what's gonna level it out completely. I know this can be completely confusing to some people that don't know anything about lift kits or leveling kits, so that's why I'm here. If you guys have any questions about lifting or leveling your truck, make sure you give me a call at 301-694-4642 or hit us up on Facebook at Krietz Customs. And if you want to check more out about towing capacity with your leveled or lifted truck, make sure you check out our next video right here. I don't know why my finger's like this. You see, it's like this.